Hello, namaste, and welcome back to another episode of InsurePulse.
Hello, everyone. Good to be back.
So, today we are talking about something that sits right at the heart of everyday business life,
Mhm.
especially for small and medium enterprises.
Yes, and when you think about it, SMEs really keep the economy moving. Nearly 30% of India's GDP comes from them.
Yeah,
Jobs, local growth, innovation, a lot of it starts there.
exactly. But here's the interesting part.
Mhm.
Even though these businesses power so much of the economy,
Okay.
many of them underestimate certain risks that sit right inside their operations.
That's true. When it comes to employee protection or product liability, a lot of founders still think of insurance as something you do just to tick a compliance box.
Right. Almost like paperwork you file away and hope you never have to think about again.
Until one day something happens. And suddenly, it's not paperwork anymore.
Exactly. There's a simple way to think about it. Most people don't think about hiring a lawyer until someone actually files a case against them.
Yes, that's such a good analogy.
And insurance works in a similar way.
True.
You rarely think about it until the day you really need it.
Absolutely. Policies like workmen's compensation or product liability often stay quietly in the background. You don't notice them until the moment they have to step in.
And these days, that moment can come faster than many businesses expect.
True, labor regulations are evolving, consumer protection laws are stronger, and even a single incident can snowball pretty quickly.
Exactly. What may start as a small accident or oversight can suddenly become a serious financial responsibility for the businesses.
Which reminds me of a case involving a delivery services SME.
Yes, I know the one you're talking about.
Yes, it was a growing company with dozens of riders handling last mile deliveries across the city. Business was steady, orders were coming in, everything seemed to be running smoothly.
And then, one evening, after finishing his final delivery of the day, one of the riders started heading home.
It was raining heavily that evening. Roads were slippery, visibility was poor, the kind of conditions that make commuting risky.
Unfortunately, the rider met with a serious accident and suffered multiple injuries.
Yes, that must have been a shock for everyone involved.
It was, and the owner's first thought was quite natural. Since the accident happened after the delivery shift ended, it might not fall under workplace liability.
Which sounds reasonable at first, but the law doesn't always see it that way.
Exactly. After a Supreme Court ruling in 2025, certain commute related accidents connected to work can be considered workplace injuries under the Employees' Compensation Act.
Meaning the employer may still be responsible for compensation and medical support.
In this case, the journey home was considered connected to the delivery work completed that day. The business therefore became liable for compensation that eventually crossed 10 lakh rupees.
And for a growing SME, a sudden liability like that can really shake things up.
Absolutely. Cash flow gets strained, supply payments get delayed, and suddenly the business owner is scrambling to find funds.
Exactly. Suddenly, the financial pressure starts building.
Fortunately, in this case, the company had workmen's compensation insurance in place.
Yes, that must have made a huge difference.
It did. The insurer stepped in as per statutory guidelines, the employee received the medical and financial support they needed, and the business could continue operating without a financial shock.
And that's really the point here. Insurance isn't just about compliance. It's about protecting both the employee and the business when something unexpected happens.
Exactly.
But risk doesn't always come from inside the
Yeah,
organization. Sometimes it comes from the products a business sells.
that's right.
There was a boutique organic honey brand that faced something similar during a regulatory inspection.
Yes, I remember this case.
Yeah, authorities found undeclared pollen allergens in one batch of honey. The label hadn't mentioned it, which meant the product technically violated labeling regulations.
And that meant the entire batch had to be recalled.
Exactly. Retailers were instructed to remove it from shelves immediately.
Which means the pressure starts almost instantly,
Mhm.
financially and reputationally.
It did. Regulatory fines reached about 10 lakh rupees. And one customer filed a claim under the Consumer Protection Act after experiencing an allergic reaction.
So, what began as a labeling oversight quickly turned into a legal situation.
Yes, and once legal proceedings begin, defense costs start adding up right away.
For a small brand, recall costs, fines, and potential settlements can feel overwhelming.
They can, but in this situation, the business had product liability insurance in place.
That must have been a relief.
It was. The defense costs and settlement were handled within the policy terms, which meant the founder didn't have to fund the entire crisis personally.
Rebuilding trust with customers would still take time, of course.
Absolutely. Reputations take time to rebuild.
But financially, the business survived the incident.
And there was another interesting benefit:
Which is?
credibility. Larger distributors and international partners often ask for proof of liability and employee protection coverage before working with smaller brands.
That's true. Having insurance signals that the business is prepared and responsible.
It also changes the internal culture a little. Employees feel safer, morale improves,
Yes.
and people see that the organization is thinking long term.
And financially, it makes sense too.
True.
Instead of holding large emergency reserves, businesses can transfer defined risks to an insurer.
Which frees up capital for things that actually grow the business.
Marketing, technology, expansion, all the things founder want to invest in.
Exactly.
And with premium financing available today, businesses can even spread insurance payments across manageable installments.
Absolutely. Which means comprehensive protection is far more accessible than many founders realize.
Before we wrap up, here's something worth thinking about.
Take a moment tonight and ask yourself a simple question.
If a 20 lakh injury claim landed on your desk tomorrow, could your business absorb it without disruption?
Or if a product recall suddenly forced inventory off the shelves, would the business be financially prepared?
Growth is important.
But stability, when things go wrong, is just as important.
If you haven't reviewed your employee protection or product liability exposure recently, now may be a good time to do it. Visit Mahindra Insurance Brokers Limited at www.mahindrainsurancebrokers.com to understand how workmen's compensation and product liability insurance can fit into your overall risk approach.
A short conversation today can protect years of hard work tomorrow.
Until next time,
Take care.
goodbye.
Bye.